Good afternoon. I am Andrea Chisholm with the Midday News. Special welcome if you're watching on onespotmedia.com. 3 wanted persons have been captured in the St. Catherine North Police Division since a state of public emergency was declared in the area yesterday. The security forces have continued their operations to clamp down on illegal gangs creating misery for residents in the area. Our reporter Anthony Lugg has been on the road and now joins us live with an update. Anthony?
Thanks, Andrea. No, I'm currently here at the checkpoint just outside Twickenham Park here in St. Catherine, where the state of public emergency has been declared. Now, Andrea, I must point out that we've been here since about 6:30 this morning, and there's a lot of activities that have been taking place. So I must tell you, however, that all public passenger vehicles going in and out of Spanish Town are being searched. This morning, passengers were asked to leave the bus, and they were searched, but that did not sit well with a lot of passengers as they complained about the inconvenience and the delays. Now, businesses are in full swing here in Spanish Town as well, and the St. Catherine North Division, but we're being told that those hours will be curtailed later this evening. I spoke with the president of the St. Catherine Chamber of Commerce. He says he welcomes the move and he has no problem with curtailing the business hours. But operations are in full swing here in the state of public emergency in the St. Catherine North Division. Until then, we keep you informed. It's back to you, Andrea.
Thank you very much. Our reporter Anthony Lugg in the St. Catherine North Police Division, where the state of emergency was declared yesterday. Meanwhile, 241 participants in the Jamaica National Service Corps program will be deployed to assist security officers in St. Catherine North. Head of the Jamaica Defense Force, Major General Rocky Meade, says the participants have the training and experience to help.
They'll be used primarily for operational support and administration, and we certainly want to thank these JNSC personnel for their extremely valuable contribution to national security and encourage them to take advantage of this important, valuable learning opportunity, which is the final stage of their preparation before converting to the regular force.
Major General Anthony Anderson was this morning sworn in as the new police chief. He took the oath of office during a brief ceremony at the Office of the Police Commissioner in St. Andrew. The ceremony was conducted by Assistant Commissioner of Police Bishop Gary Welsh. Following the ceremony, a brief session was held with area and section commanders. In other news, focus on being more productive and not just salary packages. That's the charge to public sector workers from the Finance Minister Odisho amidst wage negotiations with unions representing the workers. He was addressing the Jamaica Labour Party's Area 3 Council meeting in Manchester yesterday.
This can't be about salaries every time we talk, but it has to be about productivity. Improving the productivity of every public sector worker. Because productivity is part of what is going to drive the economy to perform more. Productivity is what is going to help us to achieve wealth in the economy.
Mr. Shaw also took a jab at the opposition.
Don't allow Peter Phillips and Mark Golding to come in here to lower your ambition and bring people down and be grudgeful.
The Jamaica Teachers Association is expected to decide today if it will accept government's 16% wage offer over 4 years. The Police Federation and the technocrats from the Finance Ministry have also been locked in a meeting since 8 o'clock. The police is praising the improved relationship between the nation's citizens and the security forces as they try to put a dent in the country's crime problem. As TVJ's Shane Masters reports, the fruits of the relationship is evident.
More calls to Crime Stop and other crime tip lines, and a survey revealing more citizens are working with the police to fight crime in Jamaica. Assistant Police Commissioner Fitzbailey, who heads the Counterterrorism and Organized Crime Investigation Branch CTOC, says he's seeing positive results.
For the first time in the country, the JCF was able to bring down one criminal organization fully. 25 people were arrested, including the leader of the particular gang. That effort was as a result of someone who saw and who had a concern and decided to speak. And coming out of that, one person were able to effect that arrest. And included in that arrest were 2 police officers.
While admitting that corruption is on the decline across the country, Executive Director of the National Integrity Action, Professor Trevor Monroe, warns there's still a far way to go.
Anybody here believe in some little youth or young, community that behind that? Yet, up until now, we see no big person investigated, tried and convicted for bringing those murderous weapons into Jamaica. Somebody chat too soon. Somebody give it away and allow the big fish to escape.
Meanwhile, he notes that improved operations have helped reduce corruption at certain government agencies.
So you don't have to take long to get a passport again. I tell you my experience, you have what you call an expedition fee. You pay that in the morning and you get your passport in the afternoon. So it don't make sense you go behind the corner or around the back, go bribe anybody, because you can get it straight. And that is one of the reasons why less and less Jamaicans. 2006, it was half of our population. 57% of Jamaicans were saying, boy, sometime it's right for pay a bribe. That is now down to 27%.
O'Shane Masters, TVJ News.
State Minister in the Ministry of National Security, Parnell Charles Jr., says investigations are still underway into the tunnel found at the Tower Street Adult Correctional Center. He was speaking on TVJ's Smile Jamaica this morning.
There are several persons who benefit when we do not succeed because they're seeking to maintain the status quo. And we have a great team. The Department of Correctional Services is full of hard-working correctional officers, probation aftercare officers, ancillary workers, staff members, supporters, stakeholders, international and local partners. Okay. And we're getting it done.
The tunnel was discovered in February on the eastern section of the Tower Street Adult Correctional Center in Kingston. It leads from one of the cells to the back of a church on the compound. Another by-election may be on the horizon in the North Central Clarendon constituency. This as news emerged that Speaker in the House of Representatives Parnell Charles Sr. will be stepping down. His son, Junior Security Minister Parnell Charles Jr., is interested in representing the constituency.
My father knows of my interest.
Yes.
And when there is a clear vacancy and when he indicates that he's willing to step down, he knows that I will be ready and willing to support the people of North Central Clarendon. But it will be their decision,
yes,
not his decision and not mine.
Okay.
But I will put myself forward appropriately.
Yes.
TVJ News understands that Robert Nesta Morgan, the Director of Communications in the Office of the Prime Minister, will face off against Senator Charles in the North Central Clarendon constituency. An American visitor is dead while a 2-year-old and other passengers are in serious condition after the vehicle they were traveling in collided with another along the Landover Main Road in St. Anne. The victim has been identified as 34-year-old Antoinette Walters, a resident of Florida. TVJ News on this has learned that Ms. Walters, along with 5 other passengers, were driving towards Runaway Bay when the vehicle collided with a SUV. The 5 passengers were taken to the St. Anne's Bay Hospital in critical condition. The driver of the SUV was treated and released. In a year, small and medium tourism-related businesses in Falmouth Trelawney should be better developed and provided with a unique modern space at the Hamden Wharf to showcase their talent and craft. Ground was broken on Friday at the Falmouth Pier to convert the heritage site into shops and public spaces for artists, artisans, and other people in that profession. Tourism Minister Edmund Bartlett says the idea is to make small businesses more viable and responsive to demands.
But most importantly, for the retention of that earning in the communities that are the beneficiary of tourism visits. And so we feel that it is not just enough to talk about having good craft or having good creative products available, but it is more important for us to be able to build the quality of that product and to provide a variety of that product. Because in getting those varieties, we are authenticating the visit of the tourists to your destination.
The cost to develop the structure is estimated at $5.7 million. The Port Authority says it will have an 18th century feel with other interesting features.
This is going to be something quite unlike anything else in the Caribbean. We have seen quite interesting projects across the Caribbean, some of them relatively new. We think that the historic spin, coupled with the use of modern technologies throughout, to make it nonetheless very efficient in its operation, is going to be something quite unique.
In news overseas, tweets by U.S. President Donald Trump continued on the weekend, forcing some Republicans to issue warnings against the firing of Special Counsel Robert Mueller. Details from the CNN.
So Trump's personal lawyer had two statements yesterday, John Dowd, saying that he wants Mueller's probe to end. And then, of course, the tweets started coming in. The Mueller probe should never have been started in, that there was no collusion and there was no crime. It was based on fraudulent activities and a fake dossier paid for by Crooked Hillary and the DNC and improperly used in FISA court for surveillance of my campaign witch hunt. Republican Congressman Trey Gowdy weighed in on this morning. Listen.
To suggest that Mueller should shut down and that all he is looking at is collusion, if you have an innocent client, Mr. Dowd, act like it. Russia attacked our country. Let Special Counsel Mueller figure that out. And if you believe, as we found, there's no evidence of collusion, you should want Special Counsel Mueller to take all the time and have all the independence he needs to do his job.
All right, Stephen, you in agreement with that?
Yeah, I am. He's not going to get a better deal from anybody besides Mueller. Mueller will let the facts take him where they take him. And if they prove no collusion, then Mueller is now this administration's best friend, and they should thank God for him.
And in sports, the West Indies have regained their spot atop the table of the Super Sixes after defeating Zimbabwe by 4 wickets with 1 over to spare. The host side, who won the toss and elected to bat, were bowled out for 289 in 50 overs, with Brendan Taylor scoring 138 runs. Jason Holder was the pick of the bowlers for the Caribbean side, with 4 for 35 from 10 overs. Kamar Roach 3 for 55 and Keema Paul 2 for 55 also contributed with the ball. In reply, despite losing Chris Gale for 17 runs at 38 for 1 and Evan Taylor for 64 at 110 for 2, Marlon Samuels and Shea Hope gave the Windies a platform with a 135-run wicket partnership in 22.3 overs. And that's the Midday News. I'm Andrea Chisholm. Do remember to join us at 7 for the Primetime News Package. On behalf of the news, sports and production teams, good afternoon.